feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day.
Weakness of the abdominal muscles is characterized by slackness of the interior abdominal wall and impaired support of the lower vertebrae. Here you can see the weakness of the abdominal muscles and the impaired support of the vertebrae, causing increased lumbar lordosis due to the interior pelvic tilt. Looking closely here, you can see the pelvic floor muscles carry a large load of weight of the internal organs as well as whatever food you've digested, and in different everyday functions in which core muscles are not recruited, contractions of the pelvic floor muscles also evoke activity of the many different layers of the abdominal muscles. On the other hand, contraction of the abdominal muscles also tends to stimulate the pelvic floor muscles. While this co-activation effect is very important, it is important to be able to stimulate the muscles independently of each other. As you can see, here in a condition in which the abdominal muscles are weak, a decrease occurs in the tonic activity of the pelvic floor muscles, or their actual activation as well. Meaning, what's important is that you have the ability to independently operate these muscles, as well as understanding how they work together and the ability to exercise them in conjunction with one another, training both your abdominals as well as your transverse abdominis. This is what we'll be getting into today. Contractions of the abdominal muscles, and especially the transverse abdominis, increase intra-abdominal pressure. This results in the stabilization of the lumbar vertebrae. Increasing the pressure is emphasized mainly by raising the diaphragm or upon exhalation. Of course, the more you're able to exhale, the higher your diaphragm will raise, the more you're able to actively engage your transverse abdominis as well as your pelvic floor muscles. Now, just like with anything else exercise related, let's discuss which movement is most efficient for muscle growth and will yield the greatest effectiveness. We're going to be going over a few different variations of the crunch. Here, you can clearly see the standard bent knee crunch. Here is your classic sit-up. The muscles in turquoise are the hip flexors or the psoas that are active in the transition from lying to sitting, and the red is of course the abdominals. Here we have the straight leg crunch. Note the slight change in the lumbar curve, the yellow line again. Not as productive. So let's concentrate on the load on the lower back in each variation as well as the effectiveness. The first thing to speak on is damage caused by certain exercise variations of the crunch, such as the straight leg sit-up and the classic sit-up. Sit-ups impose approximately 730 pounds of force to the lower back. This is obviously not a good idea when there are more productive variations available. But before we get into that, let's discuss the straight legs variation. And the straight legs variation, you can see you're actually beginning with a backward curve in your spine, meaning you actually have to reverse that curve before you're able to engage your abdominals, properly curling them lower rib cage to pelvis. Not a good example of a productive exercise. However, to discuss the final variation, the bent knees full curl, this is a maximally productive abdominal exercise. I would rate it a 10 out of 10, provided you're doing it correctly, meaning not crunching your chin into your chest. You are maintaining correct curves in your back. You're beginning with a flat lower back on the ground, resting from a bent knee position, and you're rapidly raising yourself to a full contraction while slowly lowering yourself. This is the most productive exercise you could be performing for your abdominals, again, provided you are following these guidelines. Now, this is only one part of the exercise I'll be teaching you today, which I call the castle crunch, which combines a stomach vacuum, training your transverse abdominis and pelvic floor muscles, with a standard abdominal crunch, also allowing you not to have simply an isometric contraction when performing the vacuum, but also concentric and eccentric portions of it. This exercise is maximally productive for strengthening your posture, as well as correcting imbalances.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet.
I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma